Welcome to budget-friendly vegan meal prep for our hungry, large family. Let's go. Meal prepping is one of my favorite kitchen lifesavers. Now, we don't always meal prep in our home, but let me tell you, on those super busy days of basketball practices and all of that stuff, it's an absolute game changer. I'm shopping in our fridge just to see what ingredients we have, so then I can just start making a list of items that I can make out of these ingredients. Now, I already have a few ideas of what I wanted to make, but shopping from our fridge also allows me to use up leftovers and recipes that I could probably just piece together so we don't waste any money. I would love to know if meal prep is part of your routine. Do you do it weekly? Do you do it monthly? Let us know in the comments. I find whenever we have a fridge full of ready-to-go, really nutritious homemade meals, it's like striking gold, right? It avoids that dreaded question, the what's for dinner question, or any lazy last-minute takeout orders, which can always add up into a fortune when it comes to feeding a large family. On our list of prep today, we have chili mac, a broccoli cauliflower Alfredo, a collection of burritos, and a tofu stir fry. Not to mention, I do have to prep for dinner tonight and lunch as well. I started at about 8:30 in the morning, and then we have two helpers here. One, Mercy, is going to start helping with opening some cans of beans, and Israel is going to just rinse them. These beans are going to double up, and we are going to use them in our chili mac as well as the burritos. I'm starting with the items that take the longest to cook. So here I have a pot of vegetables. I have some onions, carrots, celery, some lentils, red lentils that I've soaked overnight. Israel here is draining some chickpeas, and then we're going to get a pot ready for the cauliflower and broccoli Alfredo. We're starting off with some cauliflower in this pot to boil, and then I've also added some bell peppers to our chili pot. I like to use green peppers in chili. I also like to use red bell peppers, but today I'm just going to use green chili peppers. Don't forget to season your food in layers. And now I'm just going to add a little bit more cauliflower in this cauliflower and bean chili. As far as seasonings, I added some cumin, oregano, Italian seasonings, some ancho, and smoked paprika. Here's Mercy getting all set up to chop up potatoes. We're using these for our delicious burrito prep. I'm just showing her what the sizes of potatoes I want, and she is a champ with the knife and loves being my sous chef for the day. Whenever the kids are willing to help or offer their help, I will definitely take it. It truly helps save time in the kitchen, especially when you're meal prepping or making a whole bunch of things. I'm adding some pinto beans to this chili. You can add any beans you would like. Black beans work great too. I just have some pinto beans here. These are organic canned pinto beans. And then I'm adding a can of crushed tomatoes as well as 2 cans of diced tomatoes. Also organic, no salt added. Chili is one of those really cozy, comforting dishes that you can really put on anything. Today we're going to serve it with some macaroni, but you can just eat this as is. You can put it on some mashed potatoes, some rice, anything. Chili is so good. Now we are getting ready to boil our Alfredo sauce. We have a head of cauliflower here, and then I'm just going to add a package of frozen broccoli. This makes one of the simplest and the most delicious creamy base for our Alfredo sauce. I wanted to add some extra creaminess, so I am using some roasted cashews. Typically, I like to use raw cashews, but these were on sale, so that's what I'm using today. We're going to put about half a cup or a whole cup of cashews, and we're just going to boil it together with all these vegetables. Next, we are going to prepare a pan of cannellini beans and pinto beans. We're going to add some chickpeas as well. This is going to go into our burritos. Alrighty, a quick update. It's been about half an hour. We started at about 8:30, and right now it's 9:08, so it's a little bit, maybe like 40 minutes or so. We have a chili right here that is boiling and simmering away. We also have our broccoli and Alfredo sauce for pasta. I'm getting ready to make a bean. I'm trying to make it really quick, so this is going to be a burrito filling. So I'm going to season this with a bunch of seasonings. I have Mercy here working on another burrito filling, which is just potatoes that we're going to roast up. We're going to try to use all of our oven power as much as possible so we can get things done as fast as possible. Let's get in there and season these beans. So I have some salt going in, onion powder, Italian seasonings, ancho and smoked paprika, a little bit of cumin powder, and then we are going to mix this up. I also decided to add a can of diced tomatoes here. Mix this up and we're going to bake this in the oven. I have the oven set at about 400 degrees and I'm just going to bake this in the oven for about 15-20 minutes and we will check up on it in a little bit. We're also seasoning the potatoes and this is also going to be a burrito filling. One thing I want to do with some of these leftovers that I have some like cauliflower and cabbage, some leftover roasted vegetables here. I have some rice. I'm just going to put it into a pot and we're actually going to make burritos out of that as well. Just so that way we can use all of our food. I don't want to waste it. We spent a lot of money on this, so let's try to make something that is delicious and edible stuff. If you're prepping for burritos, this is a good time to use up leftover rice, leftover beans, leftover chili, roasted vegetables, anything you have in the fridge laying around. So we have everything in a pot here. We have all the rice and vegetables and roasted items, and we're going to just put it on the stove, season it up, add a little bit of water just to heat it up, and then we're going to burrito it up. So we have our cauliflower, some cashews, and broccoli boiling up. We have our chili here. We also have our burrito filling in there. Checking up on our chili really quick. It looks like I may have added a little bit too much water, but that's okay. That's going to work in our favor when we boil up the elbow macaronis. Alrighty, so the potatoes are seasoned. They are very well seasoned. You can see the color of the seasonings. We're going to add this to a preheated oven for about 20-30 minutes. Next up, I have Mercy making some hummus. This is also going to go into our burritos. We have, like I said, a mixture of different ingredients for our burritos. So let's make some hummus from scratch. We soaked some chickpeas overnight, and then this morning I just boiled these for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. I just went to do some work while this was boiling on medium-high. In our chickpeas, we added about 2 cups of chickpeas here. We're going to add a bit of lime juice. You can add some lemon juice if you have. We didn't have any lemons, so we're just going to use some limes. I'm also going to add some onion powder for some umami. Add some cumin powder as well. This is signature to a hummus. Add a little bit of water and olive oil just to get it going. And then I also had some leftover tahini, which I allowed Mercy to try a little bit. We just had a little bit left, so I just added the rest of this bottle. Don't forget to season to taste, so add some pepper, add some salt, and just taste as you go and blend it until smooth. We are checking up on the beans here. It looks like it is nice and ready. We are going to smash it or mash it with a potato masher just until it kind of breaks down the beans. We want the texture to kind of be like refried beans with some whole beans in it, just for some texture and just for some spreadability. The chili is looking delicious here, so let's set up our station for some chili mac. We boiled up 2 boxes, 16-ounce boxes of macaroni, elbow macaroni, and we're just going to layer the chili and the macaroni. You can mix this up into a large bowl, but we decided to just layer it on just like this, and it worked perfectly fine. This chili is nice and smoky and delicious and full of protein and fiber. And then we have some of the macaroni. This makes it so kid-friendly. We ended up with 2 pans of chili mac, and we still had elbow macaroni left, so we're going to use it in our Alfredo. We strained a little bit of the water out of the broccoli and Alfredo, and then we're going to season it with some salt, nutritional yeast for some cheesiness, some olive oil, some onion powder of course, and then we added a little bit of black pepper. Using a hand blender, we're just going to make it nice and smooth. I wanted to add some more vegetables here, so I just added some more frozen broccoli and peas, just so that way it also adds texture to this pasta dish as well. This is also a very kid-friendly, beginner, vegan, sort of Alfredo-y pasta dish that we highly recommend you try just because it's so simple. It's filled with lots of vegetables and it's just so delicious. Mercy is tasting it, and this is one of the perks of teaching the kids early to cook so they know what to taste for, and she thinks that we needed more salt and seasonings, and that's what we did. We are layering some of the pasta with some more vegetables just to get more vegetables in there, and then we're going to pile on the rest of the macaroni. Initially, I wanted to make this as a meal prep, but the kids wanted to eat it for lunch as well, so we made one pan, and then the kids are just going to have the rest for lunch. Mercy's gonna have a little quick lunch break.
It's delicious.
And she approves. She was a big help today, so she got the first plate. Already on to making all of our burritos. I'm setting up some lettuce, chopped lettuce, guacamole, some sprouts here. We have our roasted potatoes, oh so crispy, our beans, our rice filling, some hummus, all of the things, and ready to make burritos. Alrighty everybody, it is 10:30 right now. We started at 8:30, so it's been about a couple of hours. We've already gotten 2-3 pasta dishes done. We are now doing all of the burritos right now, and we're just gonna kind of mismatch and, you know, do whatever that pleases our palate, I suppose. And we're gonna see how many burritos we can make. I have a pan in the background just so that we can seal the burritos, and then we're going to pull them off, then pack it up. I find that making burritos is actually pretty fun. Like, we can make a bunch of burritos at the same time. We can prep them. We can use all sorts of different ingredients. And once they're done, you can freeze them and you will have a quick breakfast or lunch, a really quick grab and go. Each burrito is packed full of nutrients, vegetables, protein, fiber, all the good stuff. Make sure you sear and seal the seams as best as you can so it doesn't fall apart on you. And if you're making a ton of burritos, I suggest finding some helping hands if you can. Here are all of our burritos. I may have burnt a couple, but most of them were perfectly sealed. Once that's done, I'm gonna make 2 quick things here. I'm gonna make a quinoa for dinner tonight, and then I'm also gonna make a tofu scramble at the same time. Since I am on a diet, I wanted to make sure I have a high protein, veggie packed lunch. So it's nice and ready for whenever I am ready to eat it for lunch. And it's just gonna be crumbled tofu here. I have some ginger in there. You can put any veggies you want, of course, some onions, broccoli. I like to tear the tofu into small little pieces, or you can just smush them in between your fingers just to make sort of a crumble. Add your vegetables. I love using Brussels sprouts. Green beans are also a great one because it really keeps the snap and adds lots of texture in this tofu, just as long as you don't overcook it. I drizzled it with some sesame oil, some coconut aminos, and I wanted to spice it up with some cayenne pepper as well. Don't forget to taste for salt, so I added a little bit of salt here, some onion powder. I am multitasking, so I'm just seasoning both pots at the same time and cooking both at the same time. This cuts down so much time, and we are multitasking, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Let's add our quinoa to our pot. This is soaked quinoa. We just rinsed it and drained it. I'm gonna add some water, cover it, steam it until it's done. And there you have it. This is our meal prep for the week. This may not last all week, every single day, but we got a lot of meals done and we felt so accomplished. Alrighty, that wraps up our whole meal prep for the day. We have a bunch of things. We have how many burritos? 22 burritos. No, I don't think you do it right.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, we have 22 burritos. We have some tofu stir fries that I'm gonna have for lunch. We have sort of like a broccoli mac and cheese going on here. We have some 2 huge 9x13 pans of chili mac. And I also made a quinoa for dinner tonight. Actually, the kids already ate half of the broccoli Alfredo for lunch, or early breakfast, early lunch. And then we're gonna have the quinoa for later on for dinner tonight. Alrighty, so now the kids are gonna work on putting all the burritos into, we actually saved the original bags, and we're just going to use that and keep it in the fridge. We're also just going to put the other items in the fridge. We can freeze them. They are very freezer friendly, but we're just going to eat it throughout the week anyway, so there's no point in freezing it right now. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope that we inspired you to meal prep. Everything was done on a budget. It was actually really relatively cheap, all of these items, and this should last us a week. Hopefully. We will see what happens. And thank you guys again for watching, and hope you subscribe, like this video, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye. Let us know in the comments if you love vegan meal prepping and these types of videos. Do they help you or inspire you? Let us know, and we can't wait to see you on the next video. Bye guys.